Welcome to my little space where heart and hook stitch up a place where we can together make a refuge safe for all our sake. I have a little story time. So I noticed these dots appear on my leg the other day, and I was a little confused because they are all in a line. And then later I noticed another little line of dots running the opposite way, just above my ankle. And at first I was kind of thinking, I was joking with myself, like maybe a bug was walking across down my leg, taking a bite every couple steps. And that was funny to think about. And then maybe I shouldn't be swinging because that's making a lot of noise. And then I thought maybe my razor has like a ding in the blade and it scraped up my leg and like left little cuts, tiny cuts going up, and maybe that's what it is. And then I don't know, I didn't think anything else of it. A little time passed, then it started getting darker red spots. The little red spots started getting darker and a little bit more swollen, and they really looked like mosquito bites. So it occurred to me that like a week before I had been camping and I had been wearing leggings that have an inseam down the leg, right along where that line was. So my best guess is that a mosquito landed on my leg, on top of my legging, and probed through. And maybe it couldn't get deep enough in my skin to get any blood, and it just barely pricked my skin enough to irritate my skin, but not actually cause like enough of a reaction for like a full-blown mosquito bite right away. But then it couldn't get my blood, so it walked a few paces and tried again, and then walked a few paces and tried again. And I think it must have just followed the line of the inseam of my legging, because then also that makes sense, because either the same mosquito or a different one probably landed on my legging just above my sock, because I had my sock on top of my legging. It was a nice thick sock, and that's right about the level where we see another little horizontal line. So story time, silly story time. I hope you enjoyed that, and now you can see what my leg looks like. I waited until the last minute this week to make a Nana, and I gave myself only one day to make it, which was Tuesday. But I didn't make it in time. So I ended up taking 2 days to make it, and I posted my Nana a day late on Thursday this week, and that's okay. That's okay with me. And this latest Nana is named after Jonathan Van Ness, who I fell in love with when I first discovered him in the Netflix series Queer Eye. And so yeah, for this Nana, I kind of returned to the previous way I was making them, with just dumping out all of my scrap balls, putting them in order from smallest to largest, so I can kind of start to dwindle the smallest balls of yarn again. And I also took out all of my specialty fuzzy yarns, and I did the same thing with those. And I went onto Google and I got a random number generator pulled up, and I set it between 4 and 10. And then what I did is I would generate a number, and then I would double it, and I would do that many rows of each yarn in sequence. And in between each yarn, I would put one stripe of a specialty yarn. So I thought it was fitting for the Nana named after him to have a lot of different yarns and colors and be really fun and vibrant, just like he is. So if he happens to see this, I appreciate the work you do. You seem like just such a ball of love that really wants to make people feel good about themselves, and I think more people should be like that. So thank you for being an inspiration. And This is your weekly reminder that I have this as my anti-Trump art project, where I'm making a Nana every single week, and I have done since Trump was elected. And I'm naming each one after somebody I find inspiring. They're all numbered. So this one is number 83. So I've made 83 weeks since Trump was elected, and I'm donating the proceeds to the ACLU. So there are a whole bunch in my shop available if you want one. I am back at it again, doing this month's portion of my blanket project for 2026. I decided to do 4 blankets for the 4 children in my life over the course of this year, and they're all going to be due by Christmas, because it's going to be my Christmas gift to all 4 of these kids. So I will be working on the second third of the blanket for the second child that I've already started. And so that entails making 13 squares of square type 3 and 12 squares of square type 4. There are 6 total types of squares per blanket. So this will be the second blanket that I'm bringing to the state, where it will be 2/3 complete, minus the border. They're all going to have some sort of a border. What I eat in a day on a higher calorie day as a mostly carnivore, ketovore type of eater. My partner made some eggs to go with some steak this morning, so I ate all of that. And then a little bit later, I had some yogurt with vanilla and sucralose drops and chopped baker's chocolate that I put in there. I have figured out that I eat just a very small amount of this chocolate. It's like a fraction of a square, which is what a serving size is. And I just love it. When the yogurt is sweetened with a little sucralose, it makes this delectable to me. This is carnitas that I cooked a couple days before, and it's just cold. I just had some big chunks straight out of the container cold. And then I finished off this Jarlsberg Swiss cheese. So I did end up putting a little bit of butter on a couple of these slices. And just to show you what else I have throughout the day, I will make myself usually 1 cup of hot coffee with heavy whipping cream and like multiple cups of cold coffee that I blend with ice cream, ice, and chocolate protein powder. And then I also include salt and no salt in my coffee all the time for electrolytes. Okay, so this was really fun, and I would absolutely love to do more projects like this. So if you see this and you know anybody who has unfinished crochet lying around, or even knit, I could probably finish some knit items with my crochet skill. But basically, this lady, I already explained this in last week's vlog, but if you didn't see that one yet, I met a woman who had all these squares previously made by her aunt, and her aunt made them for her twin daughters. The idea was to turn them into 2 blankets for them, but she was never able to complete them. She died, and she's had this bag of granny squares sitting around for forever, and now the daughters are much older, and she asked if I could complete them, and I said absolutely. So I had the honor of doing that. It was really fun for me. The squares were so hodgepodge that it's almost like every square was unique. It's almost like she was winging the pattern for her granny square every time, even though they look like they're meant to be the same granny square pattern. So I had to match up the squares each side with each other, and every time I had to count how many stitches were in each side to match it up with the next one, because some of the squares had as few as 15 stitches along a side, and some of them had as much as 26 along a side. So I would like stitch through a stitch on one side double every few stitches if it was like wider than another square, and so on and so forth. And ultimately it made some really fun blankets. So that's what I have here to show you. I didn't quite finish. I was trying to finish them in time for last week's vlog, since I was showing you mostly them being made in last week's vlog, but I didn't get that done. So if you've been watching for a while, I'm sure you can tell that every vlog has something that bleeds over into the next one. So enjoy. Okay, so I sold another one of these mouth puppets with tongue ties, and I literally only have one left from the batch that I made. You saw me make several of these mouth puppets in a previous vlog, but now I'm down to one, so that is something I will need to be batch making pretty soon. And I hope you're enjoying a little stroll around my yard this video. I decided to make things a little bit easier on myself. I was feeling a little bit bogged down, like I had to let my brain rest a little bit. So I've just been documenting, like I normally do, what I've been doing for my stories in short little videos and pictures, and plopping them into my video editing app for a vlog as I go. And then, as you could tell already, probably recording little segments introducing each bit. So I did several yesterday. And as you can see by outfit change, I'm here for another day. But now I wanted to tell you another little story. Well, not really a story. It's like a show and tell. So my son, he just finished 7th grade, and he took an art class, and for his sort of like final end of year art project, he could do anything he wanted. So it was kind of just open to any medium you wanted, any subject matter, as long as it's something that is special to you. So he decided to do something with the subject of his mom, me, and he used yarn as a medium because I'm the queen of yarn in our family, at least. And it's also something that we have plentifully in stock that he could use. So I helped him with this idea. Initially, he was thinking, maybe you could teach me how to crochet. And I was down for it. I was like, yes, let's do it. But I was realistic. I was like, we might just get to chains, and that might be all we get to. I don't know. But he did a sketch out drawing, like an outline of an image that he wanted to do. And it's me holding him in a hug. And then he kind of like painted it with yarn. So he would lay down a line of glue, and he would tap the yarn down on that. And he like spiraled yarn into these areas to fill it in. So he like flooded in the spaces with yarn. So he did a backdrop of this really thick, fluffy blanket yarn. And then he did the foreground of the image in purple for me and green for him. And then he used other yarn in white to do lettering across the top. And he looked up how to write mom in Japanese characters across the top. So hopefully he did that correctly. Hopefully he didn't just come up with some other random word for his Google search, but I'll show you that. Take a look, please. Enjoy, because this really it got its claws into my heart. Okay, I did not want to do my next Nana at the last minute again this week. So I've already begun my next Nana. This month I'm doing all Nanas that are going to be named after people who identify as LGBTQ plus, and because it's Pride Month, why not? And so this one is going to be named after Matt Mazie, who I knew in college. We played violin together at Fresno State, and he, wonderful, phenomenal violinist, by the way. I can't find him anywhere on social media, so I don't really know what he's up to nowadays, but years ago, he started a thing called the Rainbow Delegation, which was an organization that would take donations, and you could sign up on their website to get a free rainbow colored rubber bracelet. And his idea was that these rubber bracelets would be a sign to people around you in the community that you are a safe person, an ally to the LGBTQ plus community. And you could just pay for it outright with $1. You could add extra donation to cover more bracelets. But it was as simple as that. It was these rubber bracelets. And it actually took off, it gained a lot of steam from there. So I don't really know where that organization stands now. And I don't really know where he is in life right now, but he was an inspiration to me then. And I still think about him to this day. So Matt Mazie, this next Nana is named after you. And thinking about this, it makes me want to actually put together a reel coming up pretty soon where I can show you all of the Nanas that I have already made previous to this Pride Month that are named after people in the LGBTQ plus community and people who actually identify as such. Because actually, if I think about it, I'm thinking everybody that I've named a Nana after, it must be everybody would be considered at least an ally. So I don't know, if you're an ally, does that mean you are in the LGBTQ plus community? And then I was looking through my list and I was looking at people like Björk. I've named one after her, and she is widely considered an LGBTQ icon, but she kind of rejects labels, apparently. She has previously stated that she's heterosexual in the past, but then she's also said stuff about being like gender fluid and stuff like that. But then she also outright likes to reject strict labels. So I guess maybe I won't include her on there. And there are probably lots of other straight people who are allies who are considered LGBTQ icons. But what are your thoughts on that? Is the community, when we say the community, is that including the allies? I think it is, but I might be wrong. But either way, I think if I were to include allies, that would be like all of my Nanas. But yeah, because I don't think a bigoted person is somebody that I would find inspiring. So I don't think I would name a Nana after a person like that anyway. But anyway, so yeah, look forward to that. It is really hot out here, by the way. It's probably close to 100 at this point. It's supposed to be over 100 today. But yeah, so you can see my progress so far on Nana Matt. And I'm back. It's another day filming little intros to the segments of my video. I've got my Totoro and my rainbow cheetah, my OOTD as the kids say, right? So, what is next? So this morning I took those 2 pink and white blankets to my customer in person, delivered them to her in person, and I went to the post office to ship the one mouth puppet that I had to ship. And now I'm working on finishing the Nana. You'll see that completed in next week's vlog because I need to edit this video now to get this out. And also you can look forward to, I'm going to be doing reaction videos to the 5 parts of that debate that I did on the Dr. Daff channel. So I'm loosely thinking I'm going to try to have the first part out this coming Saturday. And so I will be still trying to work on this week's vlog while also doing that reaction video in little parts here and there. So I may do the same style format for next week's vlog. We'll see how it goes. So with that, I just need to say goodbye. Crochet hooks and colors bright, crafting wonders day and night. Join the fun, come see it through. Subscribe and I'll create for you. And check out these gardenias. They are in full bloom. I wish I could send the smell to you as well.